So what if I told you that everything you've been taught about growing a business is backwards? I meet entrepreneurs and founders who tell me all the time, hey, Charlie, I need more leads. And I understand why they think that. When sales are down, when growth is stalled, when you're not hitting your numbers, the logical conclusion is that you need more leads. But here's the uncomfortable truth that I've discovered after working decades of building companies with some of the greatest 6, 7, and 8-figure CEOs. The businesses struggling the most, they usually have the most leads coming through the door. I'm Charles Gaudette. I'm the CEO of Predictable Profits. The International Business Times calls me the go-to business coach for 7 and 8-figure entrepreneurs. DM News, they just named me the #1 sales and marketing thought leader to follow. And then just recently, MSN put out a report and they recognized me as the leading coach to 8 and 9-figure CEOs. But here's what matters more than just those titles. After investing over $500,000 studying both billionaire and centimillionaire entrepreneurs, working directly with some of the most successful companies in the world, I've discovered something that will challenge everything you might think you know about business growth. Today, I'm going to challenge you by asking a completely different question. One that will expose why your current approach might be sabotaging the very growth that you're trying to create. Because the companies that scale predictably, the ones that are hitting record months after months after months, they stopped asking the question, how do I get more leads, years ago? So let's address the elephant in the room. When businesses aren't growing, the conversation always goes back to tactics. They'll say things like, we need better Facebook ads. We should try LinkedIn outreach. Maybe we need a new landing page. What about influencer marketing? And the list goes on. This is what I call a very superficial conversation. Now, it feels productive and it can keep you busy, but it never really addresses the real problem. The belief that you need more leads, it's kind of seductive because it's simple, but more inputs should equal more outputs, right? But this thinking has created an entire industry of marketing tactics and gurus that promise to flood your business with leads while completely ignoring what happens to those leads once you actually get them. So here's what nobody wants to admit. Not having enough leads or sales, it's actually a symptom of something that's much deeper, something that a tactic won't solve. So after working with hundreds of companies and studying the patterns of businesses at scale versus those that struggle, I've discovered that most businesses already have everything that they need to double or triple their buyer leads right now. All you need is just a few systematic adjustments. Just think about that for a minute. The solution isn't out there somewhere in the next marketing channel or growth hack. It's already inside your business, just waiting to be unlocked. And this is where everything changes. So instead of asking, how do I get more leads? You should be asking, why am I not getting more leads? And the answer could surprise you because most businesses, they're built like leaky buckets. They pour leads in at the top through marketing, but those leads, they drain out through systematic holes in their process. Leads that never get followed up properly. Prospects who lose interest during these really long sales cycles. Customers who buy once and they never return. Referral sources that go unactivated. Website visitors who leave without engaging. The list goes on and on. You could double your marketing spend, double your lead flow, but if the holes remain, you're just filling the bucket faster while it drains at the same time. So meanwhile, the businesses that seem to effortlessly scale, they've stopped trying to fill their bucket and they've started fixing their system. This is exactly why we created the Predictable Profits operating system. It's not another marketing tactic. This is a comprehensive framework that identifies and systematically plugs every leak in your business. And the system has 3 major components, each with 3 other subcomponents, and it's designed to transform sporadic hope into predictable results. Now, most businesses, they get it backwards. They try to capture demand before they create it, or they create demand, but they can't actually capture it. Or maybe they capture it, but they can't nurture it properly. So create demand, this isn't advertising to people who already know they need you. This is about igniting market interest in prospects who don't even realize that they have a problem yet. You can engage and educate them with insights that make them think, I've never looked at it that way before. Wow, that changes everything. You see, you're not waiting for demand, you're manufacturing it. Then we go to capture demand. And once you've created interest, you transform anonymous browsers into identifiable leads with systems that attract your ideal customers while repelling everybody else. Now, the goal isn't to capture everyone, is to capture the right ones. And we've got nurture demand. And this is where you guide leads through their decision journey. So by the time they're ready to buy, your brand isn't just an option, it's the obvious choice. So here's a key insight here. Most businesses, they might have decent marketing that creates some demand, but their capture and nurture systems are so weak that 80 to 90% of interested prospects, they just slip through the cracks. Now, when we go to the second component, sales, this is where the biggest leaks usually occur. Now, most sales processes are designed around hope instead of systems. So we look at lead qualification. So instead of treating all leads equally, you systematically identify buying intent and you focus your efforts on prospects most likely to convert. This isn't about rejecting people. It's about prioritizing it correctly. And we have closing mastery, and this moves from founder-led sales to a structured, repeatable process that any trained professional can execute. And we call this bridge building framework. Now, it doesn't convince people to buy. It helps the right people convince themselves. And then we've got recurring revenue. Now, the goal isn't just making the sale. It's about creating clients who want to buy from you over and over and over again. And this means implementing systems that encourage repeat purchases and larger transactions. Now, most businesses focus on individual transactions. Predictable businesses, they focus on lifetime relationships. And then when we get to the third component, scale, this is where most businesses completely fall apart. They try to scale without systems. They measure the wrong metrics or ignore dynamics. So we've got data intelligence. You track the metrics that actually predict success and those insights to optimize everything. It's the difference between hoping your business works and then knowing it works. Then you've got process optimization, and you document, you systematize everything that drives the results so your businesses can operate without your constant involvement. And then team dynamics. Here you cultivate a culture that brings out peak performance from every team member. And it's not about finding perfect people. It's about creating perfect systems. So the real answer to why am I not getting any more leads? Here's what we discover when we audit most businesses. They're getting plenty of leads. They're just not converting them systematically. A prospect visits your site, but your capture system is weak, so it's a lost lead. Someone downloads your lead magnet, but your nurture sequence is generic. It's a lost lead. A qualified prospect talks to your team, but there's no systematic follow-up. It's a lost lead. A client buys once and there's no system to encourage to more repeat bias. It's a lost opportunity. And that's just a handful of hundreds of different lost opportunities that exist. So when you add up all these systematic leaks, you realize that you don't need more leads. You need better systems to convert all the opportunities that you're already getting. So what if instead of chasing the next marketing tactic, you implemented one comprehensive system that maximizes every opportunity you already have? So what if instead of hoping for more traffic, you systematically converted more of your existing traffic? Or what if instead of working harder to get more leads, you worked, dare I say, smarter to convert those leads with those opportunities that you already have? And this is what happens when you shift from tactical thinking to systematic thinking. This is exactly what the predictable profits operating system is designed to do. So here's your challenge. Stop asking, how do I get more leads? And start asking, why am I not converting the leads that I already have? Why am I not converting the opportunities that I already have? See, the counterintuitive truth is that most businesses are sitting on a goldmine of untapped opportunity. They have website visitors who never opt in, leads who never get properly nurtured, prospects who never systematically get followed up on, and clients who never get asked to buy again. You fix those systematic leaks and you can double, often triple your results without spending another dollar on marketing. But here's what I know about most CEOs and most founders, most other business owners. You're so close to your business, you can't see where the leaks are happening. You need that outside perspective to identify gaps and systematic solutions to fix them. One of my clients, great man, his name is Rod. He's this metaphor where he said, our mouth is just 1 inch from our nose, but it takes somebody else to tell you have bad breath. So this is exactly why we created our business diagnostic. Now, this is a comprehensive assessment that analyzes your current setup, your sales, and your scale systems to identify exactly where you're losing potential revenue and what you can do about it. So instead of guessing where your next growth is going to come from, you're going to have a clear roadmap knowing exactly which levers that you need to pull and then in what order. So if you're tired of hoping for growth and you're ready to engineer it more systematically, go to start.predictableprofits.com. And when you go to start.predictableprofits.com, gives you that opportunity to take the diagnostic. Because here's that final truth. The leads that you need might already be in your business. The question is, are you ready to stop letting them slip away? So your predictable profits are waiting, and they're closer than you think. Start.predictableprofits.com.